Shalom to you and welcome. In this video we will be looking at power rule for differentiating functions. So the power rule says if f of x is ax to the power n, then f prime of x, which is the derivative of x, is going to be n times ax to the power n minus 1. So we bring down the exponent. We bring down the exponent to multiply the function, and then we subtract 1 from that exponent. So for example, in this 4x squared, 4 is a, 2 is n. So by the way, this is f of x. So therefore, if we write that f of x is equal to 4x squared, therefore f prime of x is going to be 2 times 4x to the power 2 minus 1, which is, this is 2 times 4, which is 8. So you can just write 8 x, and then 2 minus 1 is 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1, but we don't usually write 1 at the exponent. So f prime of x is just going to be 8x. Okay, let's do another one. What if we have x to the 5th? Okay. So f of x is 8x to the 5th. Therefore, f prime of x is going to be 5 times 8x to the power 5 minus 1. So f prime of x is going to be 5 times 8, which is 40, then x to the power 4. Okay, and we have a sum rule. So when we have a sum, we have to add when we have more than one term. So for example, it says h, if you have h of x is equal to f of x plus g of x. So if you're adding more than one term, then h prime of x is going to be f prime of x plus g prime of x. So you're going to find the derivative of each term and then add them. So for example, if we have h of x to be 2x to the 3rd power minus 2x to the 2nd power plus 4x minus 6. Okay, if we have that, then the h prime of x, it's going to be, we take the derivative of this term, which will be 3 times 2, which is 6, x to the power 3 minus 1, 2, minus 2 times 2, 4, x 1 minus 1, 2 minus 1, which is 1. So we leave it like that, plus 1 times 4 is 4 to the power 1 minus 1 is 0. So anything to the power 0 is 1. So this will be 4 times 1, which will be 4. Then this one, the derivative of constant, any constant. So let's make that the constant rule. The constant rule, the derivative of f of x is a constant, then f of x is 0. Think of it, what is this derivative? It is the slope. It is the slope. So slope of any constant like y equals 3 is going to be a line like that will pass through y. So if we draw that, that will be where y is 3. It's going to be a line like that. So if it is a line, what's the slope of a line that is horizontal, that is parallel to x-axis? It is 0. So if the slope is 0, then the derivative must be 0. So the derivative of any constant is 0. So the derivative of this -6 is going to be 0. Therefore, this is simplified to h prime of x is equal to 6x squared minus 4x plus 4 times 1 is 4, and that will be it. Okay, pause the video and try this on your own first. Okay, so again, we're going to take the derivative of each term. So the g prime of x is going to be 5 times 3, which is 15, x to the power 5 minus 1, 4, minus 3 times 2, 6, x 3 minus 1, 2, plus, so 1 times, so we're going to bring this to be 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, so that's gone, and this one is 0. So that will be our answer. Okay, so let's try radical. So what happens when you have f of x? If f of x is cube root of x to the power, okay, let's just leave it like that for now. So it's going to be, so f prime of this, first of all, let's rewrite this in this form. Write it as exponent. So we write this as x to the power 1/3. Right? So this is equivalent to this. So that way we can use power rule to evaluate that. So then the derivative of it is we bring down the power in front. So that will be, that is this times 1, because this is coefficient of 1. So it's going to be 1/3 times x to the power 1/3 minus 1. So minus 1, which is 3/3. So f prime of x is going to be 1/3 times x, and so this minus that is going to be -2/3. So if we simplify those at that exponent, now we need to simplify the negative exponent by making it positive. So how do we do that? Again, we put it under 1. So this is 1/3 times 1/x to the power 2 over 3. Okay, putting it under 1 removes the negative exponent. So we can now change this back to square root or cube root. So this is 1/3 times 1 over the cube root of x. So this is cube root of x squared. We can either put this up, because this is like 1/3 times 1 over, this is x, 1/3 times 2 over 1. So if we split this like that, then this will give us the cube root with square, still squared. Okay, so or squared, or this part here, it could also be x squared times 1/3. No, either way is the same thing. So we can do this cube root squared. So this would be then 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times that. So it's going to end up being 1 over 3 times cube root of x, either of x squared. So we can do that. Okay.